Hey everybody, Eddie from week one. I am super excited to talk to you today about geocaching. If you've never heard of it before, get ready to be excited. So we are going to talk about geocaching. It is a real world outdoor adventure game where you find containers that are hidden using GPS coordinates. So I said GPS coordinates, you don't need one of those like fancy GPS machines. The only thing you need to get started is a smartphone. So make sure you talk to your parents, see if you can borrow their phone, or if you have a phone, you're able to sign up for the website. So it is free to sign up, but you do have to go to geocaching.com to sign up. And that way you get a username and you can track all of the cool geocaches you found. Awesome? Sound good? I do have a cheat sheet in front of me. It's just to kind of keep me on track and make sure I'm telling you all the right stuff. All right, so what else is geocaching? So I've said we find this container in the woods. The only thing that needs to be in one of those containers is a logbook. So you get like a little piece of paper or a logbook. You write your username on there and the date that you found it. You put it back, put the container back where you found it, and then you go home and on your computer or on the app, you can log that you found it and write a little comment in there. We'll get to that a little bit later. So that's at the base of it. Larger caches, sometimes they're as big as like, shoe boxes or like plastic containers. Sometimes we'll have like little trinkets or toys in there. I don't know if this is the best time to go out into the woods and, take a trinket from a from a box. Just, use your best judgment and be safe. Bring hand sanitizer if you decide to do that. All right, so I think I already mentioned it, but what do you need to start geocaching? The only basic thing you need is a smartphone. And you download the app and you follow some coordinates, and we'll show you how all that works in a little bit. There are some other items that you probably want to bring along, which I'll get into later. But that's it, just the phone. So ask your parents, have them come with you next time if you guys go on a hike, or next time you head to the mall even. There's geocaches everywhere. It's super fun. That's my next question. It led me right into it. Perfect. Where are geocaches located? So they can be found all over the world. I'll show you the map on the computer later. Just in the city of Newark alone, there's hundreds, if not 1,000 geocaches, just kind of hidden all over the place. You probably have walked by some and you don't even know it. They can be quite diverse. They may be at your local park, at the end of a long hike, underwater, or even on the side of a city street. I'll find one in a little bit that was like a little tiny metal thing and it was stuck to the back of a fence. It was crazy. It was the smallest geocache I've ever found, so I'm excited for you guys to see that. So what do they look like? They vary in size and appearance. You'll see everything from large clear plastic containers to film canisters to, like I said, a little tiny metal magnetic thing stuck to the back of a fence. Let's see, I've seen a fake rock with a secret compartment underneath, which is pretty cool. Some people really get creative as to what they put, what they make their geocaches out of and hide them in the woods. There's some cool YouTube videos where people are finding like really interesting geocaches where they like fashion a fake branch and they stick it to the side of a tree, and then you're supposed to just know that that's the geocache. It can get tough. But we'll try and find some easy ones first. So let's see. They break them down on the website, the different sizes into micro, which are tiny things that are like less than 100 milliliters, like I said, a film canister or that mini thing. If you're going to go hunting for some that are that small, I would recommend bringing a pen. A lot of times the larger caches will have a pen in there so you can sign the logbook. But for the smaller ones, they don't have pens in them. So you want to bring your own pen, so you can write your name on the logbook and then put it back where you found it. There are small containers, so like a Tupperware container or something similar to that size, like a small shoebox. There are regular containers, larger Tupperware containers. I've seen like a lot of times they're like ammo boxes. They're like those metal boxes with a latch. They're out in the woods, so they want them to be safe from the elements, so they don't get rain in them and get all dirty and stuff. And finally, large cache size, like a 20 liter or larger, just like a large bucket. So we'll show you on the app the different, how you can sort by different sizes. So you want to make sure when we're starting out, we find some that are a little bit bigger, a little easier to find until you get the hang of it. So let's see how to start finding geocaches. So like I said, we'll go to geocaching.com. I'll show you on the computer a little bit later where to sign up. It is totally free to use. There is like a premium membership where you can find more geocaches, but I've never had to do that. It's all free. There are so many around that it would take you forever to have to find the premium one, so don't even worry about that. So you download the geocaching app in the Apple or Google store onto your phone, like an Android device, I think would have it. So let's see, and then you put in the zip code of where you want to find the geocache. So you can put in your zip code and you'll see a list. I also like to use the map function, so you click the map button and then it'll pop up, and if there's a hike that you see nearby that you want to do, and it has like a couple of geocaches on it, then that would be a cool one to try, and then you know kind of which hikes have some geocaches on them for you to find. And then you just go out and find it. So you'll see in the video later, so you hold your phone up and then there's a little arrow and it tells you how many feet you have left till you find it. There are hints available, and there's like a little description, so it might say like at the base of a tree trunk, or things like that, just to kind of give you a little hint. GPSs in general, so you use satellites to know where your location is. So they do have a slight error to them. So once you get to within like 10, 20 feet, at that point you pretty much stop looking at your phone and you look around in your surroundings and see what you can see what might look out of the place, or different, and you can use your eyes to look then. So you find the geocache. You find it, whatever it is, you take it out, you sign the logbook, put it back, and you make sure we put it back in its original location. So you want the people coming behind you to be able to find the same geocache using the same hints that you did. Oh, and we'll see later, I found one that I've seen before, and somebody put it back in the wrong spot, so I had to move it back to where they had intended to put it. And that's it. And then you go to geocaching.com or go on the app and log your experience and tell everybody that you found it and if there was any issues, so that the owner of the cache, the person that put it there, can go back and fix them. Other tips. So I would say start with an easier cache that is regular or large size with recent finds. So when you go on and, like I said, you log it, if you have any issues, you say that you couldn't find it, and that's okay. That's part of the fun. So if you go out there and you're looking and you just can't find this geocache, you go on the website, you say, couldn't find it today, I'll try again another day. So before you go out and look for one, you might want to make sure that like the last 5 or 6 entries, maybe they all said they couldn't find it, and that might mean there's a problem. So you want to make sure that there's a good list of people who have found it before you. So let's see, I already mentioned this, but please don't move the cache from the original location where you found it. If there's an issue with the location, if you think it's dangerous, or maybe you see poison ivy or something, you can write that in the comment section and let the owner know. Let's see, if you have be aware of and stay off of private property. Sometimes just hikes in woods in general, near parks, there's trails that lead to houses, so just be aware of that. Let's see, be respectful of nature, that is very important. So we don't want to go, cutting through the underbrush and cutting through woods. A lot of times you can follow a trail pretty close to where the cache is. You might even see like a little smaller trail heading off. So just kind of leave everything where you found it. Leave no trace, and carry in, carry out usually, which means if you have trash or anything, just bring a little plastic bag and make sure you bring it back with you. Let's see, look high and low. So sometimes they're hitting up in trees. A lot of times they're hitting down at the base of the tree, like around the roots, and they'll be covered with like little sticks or a rock or something. They'll never be buried underground. Not usually that difficult to find, but look all around. A lot of times they're disguised. Look for something that might look a little out of place. So if you see a big rock in the middle of the woods next to nothing else, might be a geocache that that you're looking for. If you are going to bring, I mentioned earlier, sometimes there's small trinkets in the cache and you can trade. So if you take something out, you put something back in, that just kind of keeps the game going. So other people might be interested in little trinkets that you have. Sometimes I will leave like temporary tattoos, like those little things you can rub on, or stickers or little matchbox cars, stuff like that. So just little trinkets to think about. You can always Google some good ideas for things to bring along that you might want to trade with whatever else might be in the cache. You don't have to take anything. A lot of times we just go for the fun of it, just to finding it, and kind of leave everything where it is, and that's okay too. So let's see. Also, let's kind of contested one is to just be smart about geocaching. Some people in the geocaching community like to be stealthy about it, because say we'll find one later that's kind of in a city area, and if there's people walking on the path, they might be interested in what you're doing or have questions about what's going on. I always like to be really upfront about it. and just say, oh, it's geocaching if you've never heard of it. And I tell them about the website if you're comfortable doing so. And a lot of times they're super interested, and I've even gotten people really interested, and then they go and find their own caches. But like I said, sometimes people in the geocaching community want to make it more of a stealthy game thing where people don't see you. But I always think it's best to just be upfront and say what you're doing. Just be smart and be safe about it. So why do we geocache? Discovery, adventure, excitement. It's always super fun to, like, you know, if you're looking for 5, 10, 15 minutes for this geocache and you find it, it's like finding treasure. It's just, you get a cool rush from finding that. And discover, you know, something, a trail or a park or something right by your own house that you might not have known existed, and it takes you on cool different paths and stuff. Get you outside, get some exercise. That's always a good thing. Great way to stay healthy while you're having fun. I know sometimes we'll go on hikes, or we'll say, you know, to our kids, or hey, do you guys want to go on a hike? And they're like, no, I don't want to. But then we say, like, well, I think there's a geocache on this hike, and they're like, oh, okay, yeah, let's go. So it's just something fun to look forward to while you're out hiking in the woods, and maybe even discover places that you never knew existed right in your own neighborhood, like I mentioned. Finally, besides a smartphone, what else should you bring? So it's a phone with geocaching app. If you're going to be out in the woods for a little while, a water bottle is a good idea. Always bring a pen or a pencil. You'll never know if the cache that you find has one in it, so I always bring that. Sunscreen and bug spray if you're going out in the woods. Sunscreen if you're going outside at all. Closed-toed shoes. That's great for, you know, sometimes these caches are hidden, like I said, off of the path. So if you bring closed-toed shoes and long pants, that'll keep you safe from the elements. You never know if there's poison ivy or stinging nettle, things like that. I wrote down multi-tool or like pliers or something. If you have like a little set of needle nose pliers, sometimes the micro caches, the real small ones, people will tuck them into like fences and stuff. That's not necessary, especially if you're just starting out. You know, you'll kind of get a feel of what you might need. That's it. The one I found, the micro I found, you didn't need anything like that. It was just kind of stuck to the back of a fence. A flashlight if you're going to be going out for extended period of time, or sometimes they're hidden in like those little holes in trees. So if you shine a flashlight in there, make sure there's no like creepy crawlies or animals or anything. Bring a snack. That's always a good idea if you're going on a long hike, to have a snack just to stay energized. And then things to leave in the geocache. So I wrote down temporary tattoos, keychains, a small Lego creation if you want. I know we painted rocks for a while, so that might be fun if you paint rocks with like inspiring messages on them, so you can leave a little rock in the geocache. Or if you come up with a theme. So like I always left Simpsons tattoos. I love the Simpsons, so that was something that I would leave in the geocaches. And stamped pennies. That might be a good idea if you have a whole bunch of those lying around. That can get kind of expensive though. I think now they're like $1 for 1 penny. I don't know, it's crazy. But anyway, hand sanitizer is a great idea, especially now. Bring a mask if you're going to be going out and about. Even on trails, I know, you know, in Delaware we're supposed to be wearing masks if other people are around. And a phone or a camera to document your find. So we would love to see what you guys find on our Facebook group. So if you decide to go out and do it and find a cache out there, take a picture and send it over. That would be really cool to see. And then you can also, I bet you're wondering who hides these geocaches. Well, everybody does. People in the geocaching community. I haven't hid one yet, but it's super easy to do. I would recommend finding a bunch first and kind of seeing, you know, just kind of get a feel for how geocaches are hidden in your area, and you know what to look for and how to do it. Just get an idea, and then you can go over to the geocaching website, and it's step-by-step directions for how to do it. Super easy. So if you think there's a great spot in your area and you don't see a geocache there, that would be a good place to start. So I'm going to stop the video now. We're going to go inside and look at the website real quick, and then we'll go find some geocaches. All right, see you guys in a second. All right, guys, we are inside now on the geocaching website. So, like I said, up here in the top right corner will be a sign-in button. So you sign up right here, and like I said, ask a parent or a guardian for their email address, or if you're over 16, I think you can do it, but still talk to your parents first. And then we go right over here. Once you're all signed in and ready to go, you can put in your zip code, so city or state or what area you're in, and we're gonna find that. So like I said, so it just comes up with a list, and it'll say like how far away it is. And let's see, it'll list like the size and the difficulty. So this difficulty rating is out of 5, so 1.5 is pretty good. And then terrain, they have it listed too. So same thing, 1 to 5, a 1 being the easiest terrain to get to. And then if you're up in the 4 and 5, you might have to be climbing some mountains or something. But I like to go to the map function. So you click map these geocaches, and they're loading and they're loading, and I already loaded it here for one close by me. So if you know that you're going to this park over here, so this is I just happen to know that this is a trail in the White Clay Creek Park that's near me, and this is the parking lot right in here. We walked on this trail the other day, and we happened to find this geocache right here. So we did a loop. We did this kind of loop that goes around this way, and there's a couple of little geocaches in there. We only found the one, so we might have to go back and keep looking for the other ones. So what I'm going to do is click on this one and kind of show you about it. So if you click on it, you can see over here it shows you the difficulty and the terrain and then what size it is. So this is a pretty small one. It was in a Tupperware container. So it did have a logbook and some extra things in there that we could trade for if we wanted to. So like I said, here's the log, the last couple of people that found it and who it was placed by and when. So let's click on another one here. This one's 2.5 difficulty, so a little tougher. Size, small, terrain 2. Let's see, description and hint. So here's a long description. Just kind of all about it. And sometimes they give you like little directions or help or hints or stuff. And we're going to show hints just to kind of give you an idea. It says low, look for white rock. So that gives you a little hint as to how to find this one. We'll have to go back and see if we can get that one. So that's really it. I hope you guys have a great time. Go out and find them. Please share them with our Facebook group, like I said. And I hope to see you guys next year. Bye.